Welcome to the Capital Exchange. I'm Steve Wilbur, Managing Director at Allen Capital Group.
And I'm Travis Portwood, Chief Investment Officer with Allen Capital Group.
You know, Travis, gas prices have hit record highs recently. Nationwide, the average price per gallon is about $4.33. The price increase hits all of us. Let's talk about what is causing this increase and what could potentially change it in the future.
You know, Steve, I was in Los Angeles recently, and they would welcome $4.33 a gallon. I snapped this picture while I was there, and those are some steep prices.
They would love the prices we have, or the $4.33.
They would. So obviously the Russia-Ukraine war has helped cause the recent spike in oil prices, with the average price of oil actually exceeding $130 a barrel here recently, or at one point. Russia's the world's third largest oil producer, so disruption in their production and these follow-on sanctions we've seen have provoked a global supply shock.
You know, Travis, on top of that, demand for gas is ramping up here in the U.S. So February of 2022, demand has, which obviously last month, demand was about 7% higher than February of last year. Pent-up demand is still a factor, and Americans want to get out and hit the road in 2022.
Yes, we do, Steve, and U.S. production can't keep up with demand either. U.S. and oil gas production pre-pandemic, so in 2019, that was close to 13 million barrels per day we were producing. In 2020, when the pandemic hit, that number fell to around 9.5 million barrels per day. There were close to 900 active rigs pre-pandemic in the U.S. That number cratered to 170 in 2020, and we've been slowly ramping up since then, but we're only back to about 520 active rigs in the U.S. right now, so we're not at that 900 pre-pandemic level.
Yes, Travis, you're right. Ramping up production in the U.S. isn't going to be easy, as you just mentioned. First, you have investors who are calling for financial discipline on some of these exploration companies because they want to avoid the boom and bust cycles that have plagued this industry historically. And second, supply chain issues are affecting everyone. They're affecting the oil industry as well, along with labor shortages, finding workers who will actually get the rigs up and going and then manning those rigs over time.
So what's being done to solve this gas price problem, Steve? We hear about the Keystone Pipeline because of where we are in Nebraska, but it can't help right now. The permit for the Keystone Pipeline project was revoked in January of 2021. And according to Reuters, less than 10% of that project was completed before it was abandoned by the developer later that year.
Yeah, right, Travis. And the U.S. government said it's going to release 30 million barrels of oil from the strategic reserves, but we know that won't even put a dent in gas prices. The U.S. uses about 20 million barrels per day, actually.
Yeah, that's a lot. So another option the government is pursuing is talking with OPEC members, trying to convince them to ramp up production. We have chilly relationships with many OPEC constituents, so it has yet to be seen if we can make progress in those negotiations to help out.
Yeah, Travis, and they're also talking about suspending the national gas tax, which would save people about 18 cents a gallon, but we will see where that goes as it works its way through Congress.
So, Steve, bottom line is there's no magic wand that's going to fix the issue short term, right? Yeah. We need to produce more oil here at home and abroad to satisfy growing demand, and we're just not doing that. So in the meantime, prices, unfortunately, could be forced higher. Some industry experts project gas prices to reach, a national average of $4.50 to $4.70 per gallon later this year. And as we've discussed, there are many factors at play here, and we'll see if the government can make progress to help alleviate the strain on the American consumer in the meantime.
Yeah, we hope that someone can, because it's going to be difficult for the consumer this summer for sure.
It definitely is. So.
Thanks, Travis. This has been great. I look forward to it next week.
I look forward to it as well. Thank you for watching this week's Exchange.
To make sure you don't miss out on future discussions, please follow us on social media.
Make sure to like and share our videos, and we'll see you next week.